All right, this topic is on complex numbers. A complex number that can be written in the form a plus bi, where a and b are real numbers. Remember that I represents the square root of -1. So when we write a complex number, we have a plus bi, where a represents the real number and b represents the imaginary part. So you can see in the chart here, we have real numbers, imaginary numbers, and then outside that are our complex numbers. Example 5. Find the values of x and y in this equation that make it true. So 2x and -8 are considered the real part, and then we're going to go ahead and set that equation up where we have 2x equals -8. Then we solve it like we do a linear equation. We divide both sides by 2, and then we simplify. -8 divided by 2 is -4. So in that equation, the x equals -4. The imaginary piece is the -6i and the 20yi. So that's the imaginary piece. So then we set up another equation with -6i equaling positive 20yi. And then we solve this one for y. So we want to get the y alone. So we're going to divide both sides by 20i. And then the 20s cancel out, the i's cancel out, and we're left with just y on the left. The left side, the i's cancel out again, and then we're left with -6 divided by 20. We do want you to reduce all fractions down to its simplest form. So what we can do next is we can divide the numerator and the denominator by 2. So this becomes a 3, and that becomes a 10. So our final answer then in that equation is y equals -3/10, and then x equals -4. Here's another equation, similar in style as the last one. Find the values of x and y that make that equation true. So the 3x and the 6 are the real pieces. So we go ahead and solve that for x. So we divide both sides by 3. And we get x to be 2. The imaginary pieces are the ones that have the i's in it. So -5i equals -10yi. And then we solve that one for y. So we want to undo the -10 and the I on the right, and then divide both sides by -10i. And then what cancels is the -10 and the -10, the I and the I, the I and the I. So in reduced form, y equals negative divided by negative makes it a positive 5/10. And then you can reduce that fraction by 5. So that becomes a 1 and a 2. So then y equals 1/2 in that equation, and x equals 2.